Chapter 13. Safety and Health at Work. What is safety and health at work? This refers to the practice, policy, and procedure that aim to protect workers from the harm and ensure a safe and healthy environment. This include measures such as providing appropriate personal protective equipment or what we call PPE, ensuring proper machinery guiding, training workers in risk assessment, and maintaining a clean and well-ventilated workplace. Training for safety. Training for safety is a process of educating workers and giving them a comprehensive understanding of different safety-related rules, regulation, and guidelines. It involves teaching workers about the potential hazard that they may be encounter in their workplace, such as use of dangerous machinery or tools, chemical vapor, and lifting heavy objects. During training, workers learn how to recognize the signs and symptoms of a hazardous situation, what action to take in an emergency, and how to proper document and report accident. They are also taught general safety precautions such as wearing protective gears, using locks and guards, and following proper lifting techniques. Effective training for safety can greatly reduce the number of accidents, injuries, and illnesses in the workplace. It is essential for the employer to provide ongoing training and refresher sessions to make sure that workers stay up to date with the latest safety regulation and best practices. Workplace safety and health law. Workplace safety and health law are regulations designed to ensure that workplaces are safe and healthy for employees. This law sets standards for working conditions, equipment, and practices to prevent accidents, injuries, and illnesses. Our learning objectives are: be able to explain OSHA law, understanding right to know law, Occupational Safety and Health Administration Law, and 29, the most recent data available at the time of this writing, 4,340 fatality and 33 million injuries were reported. This staggering number represents not only the cost to employees' well-being, but also financial and time costs to the company. This is why health and safety is a key component of any human resource management strategic plan. So what is OSHA about? The Occupational Safety and Health Act, passed in 1970, created the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which oversees health and safety in the workplace. The organization's mission is to ensure safe and healthful working conditions for the working men and women by setting and enforcing standards and by providing training, outreach, education, and assistance. For example, OSHA offered tenant 34 courses on workplace hazard and also provide assistance to ensure companies are in compliance with the standard. OSHA is part of the U.S. Department of Labor, with the main administrator being the Assistant Secretary of Labor for Occupational Safety and Health. This person reports to the Labor Secretary, who is a member of the President's Cabinet. Although OSHA standard may appear to apply only to the companies in production and manufacturing or the construction, even companies with primary and office function are required to abide by the law set by the OSHA. Examples of the type of safety law are the overseen by OSHA are the following: regulation on working surfaces, mean or exist or existing, which include emergency evacuation plan, occupational noise exposure, hazardous handling of materials, protective equipment such as eye, face and respiratory protective. Sanitation. Requirement of the first aid supply on site. Standard for fire equipments. Standard for machine guard and other power tools. Electrical requirements and standard. Commercial diving operation requirements. HR professional and managers should have a good understanding for this law and make sure no matter which industry that all these standards are followed in the workplace. These standards are normally part of the overall strategic HRM plan of any organization and are even more crucial to organizations involved in manufacturing. This exists many examples of OSHA violation. For example, in Quinbury, Pennsylvania, Dick's Crafting Goods Store, OSHA found 6 violations, including block access to a fire extinguisher and worker entering a trash compactor with a power supply on Dick's was fined $57,300 by OSHA and told it has 50 days to comply or contest the finding. Most frequently violated and cite OSHA standard. Scaffolding, fall protection, hazard communication, respiratory protection, landers, lockout, tagout, electrical wiring method, powered industrial trucks, electrical general requirement, machine guarding.
Next is Right to Know Law. The Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know Act, or the EPCRA, established in 1986 mandate that the local and state governments create and annually review emergency response plans for chemical emergencies. Company handling extremely hazardous substances must also develop responses plan and provide material safety data sheets to the local officials and employees, detailing chemical components, health risks, and safety procedures. HR professionals are responsible for ensuring accurate and timely reporting of these requirements, including training employees. The A-Treat bottling facility in Pennsylvania face significant fines for failing to comply with this regulation. XR must also be aware of state-specific standards which can differ from federal requirements. Next is OSHA enforcement. OSHA record keeping requirements are crucial, though companies with fewer than 10 employees in some industry may be exempt. Record keeping focuses on tracking incidence rates of illnesses and injuries calculated by dividing the number of incidents by total hours work and multiplying by 200,000. These standards allow comparison across company and industry. High incident rate compared to industry average may prompt HR professionals to implement additional workplace safety training. Note that keeping record does not imply fault of guarantee workers' compensation eligibility. Understanding what to report to OSHA is essential, guided by a Decision 3 and the OSHA 300 form enforces standard in conduct inspection, prioritizing site-based and imminent danger facilities or serious injuries employee complaint, which can be anonymous. Reviews violation and plan program for improving safety. Given the responsibility for 7 million work sites, OSHA focuses its inspections on most critical situations first. And I have here a OSHA reporting form 300, and this is site visits are usually announced. The inspector who has researched the organization beforehand introduces themselves and is accompanied by an organization representative open an HR professional, the inspector identifies and discusses violation during the work through a full report, including citation or fines, is sent within 6 months. If the organization dispute the finding, a follow-up meeting with the OSHA director can be scheduled, potential reducing fines if improvements are demonstrated. Next, we have health hazard at work. Learning objective, be able to explain health concern that can affect employees at work. The first one is stress. The American Psychological Association's annual survey highlighted that the money, work, and the economy are major stressors for Americans, with job instability increasingly affected nearly half, or adult satisfaction with employer. Support for work-life balance has declined, emphasizing the need for effective HR strategy. The term stress, defined by Hanseld in 1936 as the body non-specific response to change, underpins the importance of addressing this issue. Stress is the body reaction to a stressor, which can be any activity, event, or stimulus that triggers a response. While stress is often seen negatively, it can also be a positive, such as stress from receiving a promotion. Individual responses to stressor vary based on personal experiences and personalities. For example, a professor might not find public speaking stressful, while others may find it very challenging. We have a illustration here that illustrate the stress curve. Stress can be beneficial up to a certain point, but behind that, it leads to a fatigue and negative effect, varying by individual. Job stress impact productivity, causes health issues, and increases turnover in insurance costs. To address these issues, company like Price Waterhouse Coopers have implemented strategies such as team-based client work and mandatory vacation time, along with reminders to disconnect from work or on weekend, to reduce stress and improve employee well-being. And this is some of the reason why student can be stressful. First, it because of death of the loved ones, relocating to a new city or state, divorce of parents, encounter with the legal system, transfer to a new school, marriage, lost job, serious argument with close friend, increase in course load or difficulty of courses, change in health of family member, first semester in college, failed important course.
Cumulative trauma disorders. Cumulative trauma disorders, or CTDs, are injuries to the fingers, hands, arms, or shoulders that result from repetitive motions, such as typing carpal tunnel syndrome, or CTS, is a common cumulative disorder in which the hand and wrist is particularly affected. Is a disability syndrome that fortunately can be prevented or at least minimized according to one study of CTS. The percentage of a workday at a computer, posture while at the workstation, and the individual's body features all contribute to this workplace issue. More recently, CTD can be found in people who text a lot or use their smartphones to type or surf the internet. Next, video display terminals. In 1984, only 25% of people used computers at work, and today that number is 68%, and 18 awareness of the effects of computer monitors and other similar terminals are necessary to ensure a healthy workplace. Vision problems, fatigue, eye strain, and neck, back, arm, and muscles pain are common for the frequent users of VDTs, or OSHA recommends taking a break after every hour on a computer screen and reducing glare on screens. Proper posture and seat adjustments also limits the amount of injuries due to VDT. Chemical and fragrance sensitivities. The EEOC defines as a disability as a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more of the major life activities of individuals and the ability to provide evidence of such an impairment. Because of this definition, people who have multiple chemical sensitivity or MCS or environmental illness or EI are eligible for reasonable accommodation in the workplace. MCS or EI is the inability to tolerate an environment chemical or class of foreign chemicals. Here are some examples of such policies might include the following. Number 1, Institute of Fragrance-Free Workplace Policy. Number 2, limit use of restroom air fresheners, cleaning agents, and candles. Number 3, ensure the ventilation system is in good working order. Number 4, provide a workspace with windows where possible. Number 5, consider providing an alternate workspace. And number 6, be cautious of remodels, renovations, and other projects that may cause excessive dust and odors. If an organization is going to implement a fragrance-free work policy, this is normally addressed under the dress code area of the organization's employee manual. However, many employers are reluctant to require employees to refrain from wearing or using scented products. In this case, rather than creating a policy, it might be worthwhile to simply request a fragrance-free zone from employees through email and other means of communication. Next is chemicals and substances. OSHA, as we mentioned earlier, has certain standards for how chemicals should be handled and how they should be labeled. Chemicals should be labeled in English, and employees must be able to cross-reference the chemicals to the material safety data sheet, which describes how the chemicals should be handled. It is estimated that 1,200 new chemicals are developed in North America alone every year. 21 For many of these chemicals, little is known about their immediate or long-term effects on the health of workers who come into contact with them. As a result, policies should be developed on how chemicals should be handled, and proper warnings should be given as to the harmful effects of any chemicals found in a website. Benefits to a smoke-free work environment and sample policy. For the employees, a smoke-free environment helps create a safer, healthier workplace. Workers who are bothered by smoke will not be exposed to it at work. Smokers who want to quit may have more of a reason to do so. Smokers may appreciate a clear company policy about smoking at work. Managers are relieved when there is a clearly defined process for dealing with the smoking in the workplace. And for the employer, a smoke-free environment helps create a safer, healthier workplace. Direct healthcare costs to the company may be reduced. A clear plan that is carefully put into action by the employer to lower employees' exposure to secondhand smoke shows the company cares. Employees may be less likely to miss work due to smoking-related illnesses. Maintenance costs go down when smoke, matches, and cigarette butts are taken out of work facilities. Office equipment, carpets, and furniture last longer. The risk of fires is lower. A drug-free policy, according to OSHA, has 5 parts. Number 1, a policy. Number 2, supervisor training. Number 3, employee education. Number 4, employee assistance. Number 5, drug testing. According to OSHA, 2 million American workers are victims of workplace violence every year. OSHA addresses some of the workers who are at increased risk for workplace violence. Number 1, workers who exchange money with the public. Number 2, workers who deliver goods, passengers, or services. Number 3, people who work alone or in small groups. Number 4, workers who work late at night or early in the morning. Number 5, workers who work in high crime areas. OSHA provide tips to provide a safer workplace. Number 1, establish a workplace violence prevention policy with a zero tolerance policy. Number 2, provide safety education. Number 3, secure the workplace with cameras, extra lighting, and alarm systems. Number 4, provide a drop safe to limit the amount of cash in hand. Number 5, provide cell phones to workers. Number 6, require employees to travel in groups using a buddy system. There are several indicators of pre-violence as noted by the Workplace Violence Research Institute. Number 1, increased use of alcohol or illegal drugs. Number 2, unexplained increase in absenteeism. Number 3, noticeable decrease in attention to appearance and hygiene. Number 4, depression and withdrawal. Number 5, exclusive outbursts of anger or rage without provocation. Number 6, threats or verbal abuse to coworkers and supervisors. Number 7, repeated comments that indicate suicidal tendencies. Number 8, frequent physical complaints. Number 9, noticeable unstable emotional responses. Number 10, behavior indicative of paranoia. Number 11, preoccupation with previous incidents of violence. Number 12, increased mood swings. 13, has a plan to solve all problems. Number 14, resistance and overreaction to changes and procedures. 15, increase of unsolicited comments about firearms and other dangerous weapons. Number 16, repeated violations of company policies. And last, number 17, escalation of domestic problems. Workplace violence. Workplace bullying is defined as a tendency of individuals or groups to use persistent or repeated aggressive or unreasonable behavior against a coworker or subordinate. The Workplace Bullying Institute found that 35% of workers have reported being bullied at work. This number is worth considering given that workplace bullying reduces the productivity with missed work days and turnover. The Workplace Bullying Institute found that litigation and settlement of bullying lawsuits can cost organizations $100,000 to millions of dollars in addition to the bad publicity that may be created. Here are some examples of workplace bullying include the following. Number 1, unwarranted or invalid criticism. Number 2, blame without factual information. Number 3, being treated differently than the rest of your work group. Number 4, humiliation. Number 5, unrealistic work deadlines. Number 6, spreading rumors. Number 7, undermining or deliberately impeding a person's work. That's all for my report. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Russell Villarca, and I'm the next reporter, and we will tackle about employee privacy. So, what is employee privacy? Employee privacy means having clear policies that address privacy related issues such as data privacy, internet usage, and monitoring. Additionally, ethical workplace privacy means acknowledging and respecting employees' rights to use their work devices for personal use. In the face of identity theft, HR professionals must prioritize employee security and privacy. The Texas Comptroller's Office's 2011 disclosure of 3.5 million workers' information led to 18 million in cost. HR professionals must ensure privacy while management must maintain organizational privacy. So, HR professionals are human resources. They develop and manage a range of activities for a company. This may include hiring and promoting employees, training and supporting workers, creating labor relations policies, programs, and procedures, and laying off or firing people. When private information is exposed, it can be costly. Here are some Other things to combat employee identity theft include the following. First, conduct background and criminal check on employees who will have access to sensitive data. Second, restrict access to areas where data is stored, including computers. Third, provide training to staff who will have access to private employee information. Fourth, keep information in locked files or in password protected files. And lastly, use numbers other than social security numbers to identify employees. Privacy concerns arise from monitoring employee activities on organization provided devices. Case law generally states employees don't have privacy rights, leading to over half of companies monitoring. A survey shows 73% of employees monitor email messages and 66% web browsing. Implementing monitoring policies requires employee buy-in. The following is important to employee buy-in to monitoring. First, develop a policy for monitoring. Second, communicate what will be monitored. And lastly, provide business reason for why email and internet must be monitored. Agrium, a Canadian agricultural supplier, emphasizes the importance of implementing IT standards and protecting employee data. The company's employee privacy policy is communicated on its website, stating its commitment to maintaining accuracy, confidentiality, and security of personal information. Terrorism. Since 9/11, HR professionals are focusing on workplace terrorism and evacuation planning. OSHA offers free assistance and a fill-in-the-blank system for comprehensive evacuation reports, assisting organizations in implementing evacuation plans. Since the 9/11 attacks, terrorism and its effect on the workplace are in the forefront of the HR professional's mind. Planning for evacuation is the job of everyone in an organization, but HR should initiate this discussion. OSHA provides free assistance in implementing plans and procedures in case of a terror attack. OSHA also provides a fill-in-the-blank system to help organization promoting a culture of safety and health. Employee health and safety is a must in today's high-stress work environments, although some may see employee health as something that shouldn't concern HR. The increasing cost of health benefits makes it in the best interest of the company to hire and maintain healthy employees. In fact, during the recession of the late 20s, when cutbacks were common, 50% of all workplaces increased or planned to increase investment in wellness and health at their organization. Example of health and safety. Cordis Corporation is committed to global environmental health and safety, or EHS, performance and leadership with respect to its associates, customers, suppliers, contractors, visitors, and communities. To fulfill this commitment, Cordis Corporation conducts its business emphasizing regulatory compliance and collaboration. They strive for comprehensive risk management, pollution prevention, healthy lifestyle culture, continuous improvement in sustainability, engaging partnerships, and possession of outstanding EHS capabilities in skill sets. And they affirm that EHS is a core business value and a key indicator of organizational excellence, considered in every task we perform and every decision they make, and they believe that all incidents and injuries are preventable. Process excellence is the driver for continuous improvement and sustainable result in all aspects of EHS. Every associate is responsible and accountable for complying with all aspects of EHS, creating a safe and healthy work environment while leaving the smallest environmental footprint. Another option to ensure health and safety is to implement Unemployee Assistance Program, or EAP. This benefit is intended to help employees with personal problems that could affect their performance at work. The EAP usually includes covered counseling and referral services. This type of program can assist employees with drug or alcohol addictions, emotional issues such as depression, stress management, or other personal issues. Sometimes these programs are outsourced to organizations that can provide in-house training and referral services to employees. There are also the possible techniques you can implement to have a safe and healthy work environment include the following. 1. Know OSHA and other safety laws. 2. Provide training to employees on OSHA and safety laws. 3. Have a written policy for how violations will be handled. 4. Commit the resources, time, and money necessary to ensure a healthy work environment. 5. Involve employees' safety and health discussion as they may have good ideas as to how the organization can improve. Number 6, make safety part of an employee's job description. In other words, hold employees accountable for always practicing safety at work. Number 7, understand how the health or lack of health of your employees contributes to, or takes away from the bottom line and implement policies and programs to assist in this effort.